Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 Robust. So as you can see on my table, my CANIK TP9SF Elite is finally back. That's right, it is now March 6th, I believe? March 8th. March 8th, and I finally got it back after about 9 weeks. And yeah, so I'm going to give you kind of the entire rundown of what happened. And also, this is going to be part 1 to a part 2 kind of series. Or to a 2-part series, and part 2 tomorrow is going to be showing you what the consolation prize was for having to deal with such ridiculousness in regards to getting this gun simply repaired for some very simple issues, actually. Now, one thing I want to clear up right now is that I did not have to sign any waivers. I did not have to promise my soul to Century Arms to do this review, or the review tomorrow that I'll be doing on what they offered to me. So I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm certainly not going to try to sell this gun to you. Whatever you decide is your own opinion. Whatever your experience has been with this firearm, I hope it's a good one, and I hope it continues. In my opinion, still a very nice firearm. It shoots very well when it works. But the old discussion about this firearm was, is there an issue with the ejection pattern on this firearm? For those of you who have some of the earlier batches like this one right here, I'm going to tell you right now that it is going to be a problem for you. Now, I'm going to tell you because I have it straight from the horse's mouth that there are some spring issues for the recoil spring on this. The reason being is when they tested them over to Turkey, they do not consider the type of ammo we use here when they put the recoil spring in. So Century Arms right now is in the process of taking them and actually changing them out, as far as I know, because I know several people I've spoken to, including my experience with this, that's exactly what they did. Now, if there's people out there saying, well, you need to use consistent ammo, whatever the hell that means, I don't know. But whatever you're talking about in regards to that, if you're talking about that there is no issue, or better yet, if there are people being silent out there and not addressing the issue at all, here's what I'm going to tell you. There is an issue. The issue is with the recoil spring. Once the recoil spring is swapped out, you'll probably be as good as gold. Again, I don't know. I haven't shot the gun, so again, I won't know that until Sunday of this week. Now, I'm going to say some positive things, which is surprising to me, because I've been pretty pissed off about this for about a week and a half to 2 weeks now. And I'm going to tell you right now that I was treated with a lot of respect through this process. Now, initially, not so much. The lower representatives really didn't care two craps about what was going on with the firearm. It was almost like they just wanted to kind of shut me up and then move on. However, because I was having so many issues and because 8.5 weeks passed without any notion of where this firearm was at, I wound up getting in touch with a couple of the head honchos over at Century Arms. They actually wound up calling me, which was kind of a nice surprise. And I have to tell you, they treated me very well. They treated me very kindly. I spoke to a couple of gentlemen, and they were very, very nice and courteous. And I think they should have been, especially for all the hassle that was going on with this firearm. Again, I'm not certain that they knew I had a YouTube channel. And again, I don't have the biggest YouTube channel, and that shouldn't really matter anyway. But what I will tell you is that the whole process took about 9 weeks to get this gun back to me. Now, where everything kind of exploded, where I said enough was enough, was that it had taken me about 4 or 5 days to actually ever receive any form of tracking number for the gun. I was told it was going to be sent out. It never was. I then shot off an email to Jacob Herman, and he responded that he doesn't know what's going on, and he'll look into it. And then I never heard from him again. And then finally, the service rep actually contacted me with the information that this was going to be my old gun and that I wasn't receiving a new gun, but he still did not disclose the tracking number. So, of course, I emailed him about 3 days later saying, dude, I asked you for the tracking number. I want the tracking number. Eventually, on a Monday, and this was Monday of last week, he finally gets around to sending me that tracking number. And when I punched the tracking number up into UPS, the tracking number shows that this gun was actually shipped to somebody in New Hampshire, which was kind of surprising because I'm pretty sure I live in New York. So needless to say, last week on a Monday, I blew a gasket. At that point, I had absolutely enough. I feel like I've been very respectful throughout this whole process, even though some people online have not been very respectful to me and how I feel about this firearm. So I wound up shooting out an email to the service rep and to Jacob Herman, both saying to them that this is absolutely ridiculous and you've got to be kidding me. You sent my gun that's licensed to me to another state. So needless to say, I sent out those emails. Literally within 5 minutes, I get a phone call. And the phone call was from the CEO and the COO of Century Arms. Both very nice gentlemen, both very responsive and understanding of the situation, and very, very apologetic. What they basically boiled it down to was that there was a human error. Somebody within their department screwed up royally, which I don't think is very surprising at this point, but I do appreciate the fact that they were willing to kind of fall on their swords, so to speak. Both were humble, both were very nice. I had a nice long conversation with the COO, and I kind of asked him like what was going on and what were some of the issues, and the first thing he said was the recoil spring was the issue. And so as a result, when they took the gun apart, they had an engineer from Turkey look at my gun, because a lot of people were giving me some flack about this recoil business, or excuse me, the recoil spring, or the bad extraction of the casings. And what I had to try to constantly explain to people was that for me, it wasn't just about the extraction of these shells or these casings, but it was about this little spring right there. This is your slide lock spring, okay? And what was going on with this, it kept moving out of its place, which caused the slide to lock back prematurely with a half-loaded magazine. To me, that's a failure. That's not something that is tolerable in a self-defense weapon, because if you have to use it and it slides back, why would you have to worry about it not going back in the battery? Only because of this failure right here, not from anything you've done. So as a result, it went back, and 9 weeks later, it's come back to me. Now, of course, I can't tell you if it's fixed until I shoot it. I will tell you that there is much more tension on that spring than there was when I initially purchased it. You can see that, once again, the slide lock here is not moving at all, and if you look at my old video, you'll see that shaking up and down. So as a result, in my opinion, it looks like it has been repaired. One of the things I wish I had done was taken a picture of the actual recoil spring, because again, I don't know what is the difference between this one and the old one. So I mean, sorry guys, if you know what the difference looks like because you still have your old one in there or your original one, let me know. Tell me what you see as different. But again, I wish I would have taken a picture so I would have seen what it looked like, because right now I don't really have that proof of how it's different, if at all. Now, of course, I haven't shot the gun. I plan on shooting it this weekend, but I do want to show you the paperwork, if I can actually get this gun back on. Hold on one second there. Hold on there, Speedy. I do want to show you the paperwork so that you know that what I'm telling you is not necessarily me just making things up, because I certainly don't want to be accused of just saying what I want to say. So this was the paperwork that was sent back to me. It's a bunch of different documents, but if you look right on here, let's see, right there, this is everything they did. The last update on the firearm was February 20th, so you can tell that that's a pretty long time since I actually sent this back, I think I think December. Oh my God. So I think I sent it back in December, late December. And you can see at the bottom there, actually, yeah, it must have been late December because I got this gun for my birthday. I bought it for myself, I remember. But if you look at number 2 down there, it says last updated February 20th, 2017, gunsmith comments, replace the slide lock spring, which is what I showed you, and the recoil spring. Okay, so the recoil spring and the slide lock spring were both swapped out of there. And so to me, that would substantiate the fact that something was off with the recoil spring, which led to the weak ejection pattern on the firearm. So, as a non-expert, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's what was wrong with my firearm. I'm going to test it out this Sunday to see what's going on. Hopefully it shoots well, because I have to say, it does shoot very well when it wants to. It's a really nice gun, and I really do like it. But at this point, I have to say that the beginning of the situation with Century Arms was very bad. However, I'm going to tell you they did a lot to correct it, and they did it like they said they were going to do it. So you take that for what it's worth, but definitely look into the fact, if you're having issues with the ejection patterns, that you do take it seriously, that it is not something you're doing wrong, and it's not something because you're using inconsistent ammo or whatever it might be. It is actually a spring problem. So tomorrow, part 2, guys. I hope you stick around for that, because I have something super duper awesome to show you. And I hope you enjoy it. So as a result, guys, everything seems to be working out right now. Very blessed that I have it back. I'm very happy about it. And I hope it just works. And so as always, guys, stay safe out there. Freedom is never free.